Hello gamers, I am centaurianmudpig. Welcome along to Ashes of the Singularity Escalation. We're doing a cast on the multiplayer with Creature of Existence, who plays Substrate in the green corner. And in the red corner we have BradleyATG playing PHC. Oh, I almost struggled to get that out there. And we're playing on a nice snowy map that I should have took notice of. But didn't, and it is a nice map. We've got literally, again, 3 avenues to go to with 3 Terranium generators. We've got 1 in the middle and both on each corner, and nice little hidden corners here for some artillery and maybe even some base building to avoid potential units coming through. Standard opening starts, get our factory down in front of her head, and what is Creature doing? Creature has his tactic where he goes for radioactives first, which is an interesting one. So once he gets the radioactives down, he'll go straight for a quantum archive. I would though say that a metal start is the best way. Radioactives is not always the best way to go, but other than that, this size, I think it might be more in your favour because you've got that slower unit production in order to be capturing more resources. And early on, you want to capture as many resources as you can quite quickly, so that you can ramp up production, get stronger units out there more faster, and just start steamrolling the enemy. So we've got lots of different deposits going on here. Nice big chunk of metal, some radioactives, equally shared on here. These maps are now pretty much mirrored straight down these axes. Not all of them, most of them. And it makes sense to make sure that you've got an giving equal opportunity to both players, and one player doesn't have an advantage against another. So Marta's coming out, capturing resources over here. We've got our brutes mixed in with archers. A nice combination. Brutes just acting as meat shields with some damage, and these archers are the ones that are going to be causing the most damage in there. I'll speed it up again. We've got to hit the 2 times button. Oh, feeling the pacing is too slow. Got to get used to keep hitting that. Alright. More engineers coming out, capping resources on these sides. And down with a sky factory, coming out with anti-air fighters. And of course an armory too for Bradley. And whereas Creature still relying on that soul assembly, and given that we've got just a bigger increase of metal coming in there, it would be wise to actually get another assembly up there sooner rather than later. We're going for anti-air, which would be good. It's a good tactic, because if they were bombers, they could have caused some significant harm if left to their own devices. So coming up in the corners, moving down the left side, and we've got coming down the right side. As we expand, ignoring the Terranium generators for now, just going for resources. And yes, still going for the power generators. Thought they might have done some sort of sneaky cut across and maybe to try to do a quick strike. But no, very wise to continue and capture these resources. However, each player do want to do something in order to counter the armies that are approaching their base. Bradley's gone and captured the middle one, got himself up a forward armory to help support in production in there, and building anti-cruiser weaponry. Gradually capturing the metal resources up there and continuing on, slightly edging out there on the economy, and still creature only one armory, seriously hampering himself there. Really needs to get a few more armories going on there. It's definitely spending more on defenses, and potentially he'll be safe, because these guys aren't going to survive much longer. If they had a medic, that would have really helped the durability of those units. We've got Bradley now pushing down here, wiping out any units that were in this side. Potentially dead yet, or upgraded. Not sure what's going on there. I would say that's probably a dead unit, or a dead structure. And yeah, creature is really going to struggle. He's pushing in there. Really could do with seeing just what's on ahead. But Bradley's just pushing his units back. But potentially, if he can bring his artillery forward a bit, could start sniping those units from a distance. So creature a bit on a back foot at this moment. Bradley really upped his game, I think. I'm not sure if Bradley's always been a good player or if he's improved quite recently. But certainly Bradley is a very good contender in this match and previous matches that we have seen him played in. So good effort, good strategy. Yeah, there we go. Harvesters coming out here. Still though, only using one armory. Sorry, one assembly. But we've got coming up, and we're going for punishers. Building out punishers. We could use punishers and start harassing the deposits on each of these power generators. But we've got some threats in there, not too much, so punishers could be doing something. But look at this going on here. Bradley's got fought ahead, but we've got some upgraded defenses. Harvesters getting sniped. There we go. Very worth sniping. Harvesters are very expensive. Send a few of your fighters in there. Snipe them out, even if you lose your forces. That's going to hurt creature's economy even further. And I do not think there's going to be much hope now, unfortunately, for creatures to survive this attack. We've certainly got armies on all sides with reinforcements coming on in, and two punishers unfortunately are not going to do too much, but could reduce his economy. But he's got to be able to deal with those existing units. So he's brought them in there, trying to snipe the armory, but not strong enough to take it out. And Apollo cruisers, is it the Apollos? Yeah, just taking out one of the punishers, leaving one of them left, and just now forcing that punisher away and just sniping enemy units from a distance. And here we go. I think this might be the closing end in here. What units do? We do have an Apollo cruiser, and I think we're going to have a few units lost, including that Apollo cruiser if he's not careful. Disruptor cannon firing off, making quick work of any units that come within its range. Bradley pushing back. Well, as you can see, the Apollo cruiser is still doing damage to a disruptor cannon from around this distance as it retreated. But yeah, good effort there. We've retreated one eye, but we've got more. The noose is closing in for creature. We've got 27,000 military and economic strength. We can just visually see all those units there. 14 frigates. Is that frigates? 14 cruisers, 47 frigates, and some searchers. 8 cruisers, 34 frigates over here, and Oh, creature committing a force over here. This is not quite telling us accurate story, just because perhaps of grouped armies. But we've got 34 frigates, 5 cruisers over here. Creature is making a push. He's trying to capture the Turanian generator on this side. All it will do is just stall just ever so slightly the amount of Turanian being captured, but certainly isn't going to help Creature win this match, unfortunately, just because Bradley still holds the majority. We need to get a second generator, and based on unit strength, that's it. Interesting to see that Bradley's just sitting there using it as a choke point, just wants to see full Turanian conversion of this world so that he can continue on his conquest and conquer more worlds in the future. Oh, and down goes an orbital strike. I think that was the last breathing, dying throes of Creature getting down that orbital strike there. Unfortunately, strategy didn't pull off there again. If only he'd built just a few more assemblies, then I think he would have easily pushed back. As we can see, just military might very quickly outpaced even before half the match. Usually around half of the match, then you see a shift in where someone wins generally. Not in all cases, but here, big early start. Well, I hope you enjoy this match, gamers. This has been Ashes of Singularity Escalation. Until the next video, this centaurianmudpig saying is don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, bye for now.